This podcast is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Out of the Ashes presents Missing Dad.
I might have ended up on the wrong side of the tracks if Pops wouldn't have pulled me back and said, yo.
Each episode is a thought-provoking interview with people across all walks of life to see how they were affected by missing key pieces in their relationship with their dad.
Told him as a youngster, he'll be the greatest man alive.
And now your hosts, Coley Harris and Amar Melton.
Welcome to another episode of Missing Dad. I'm your co-host, Coley Harris.
And I'm the other co-host, Amar Melton.
Are you ever going to take over that first intro piece? You know I'm tired.
Maybe for season 3. But I got some good feedback the other day. A listener said, I didn't realize until halfway through the interview that this is your dad. So,
Really?
yeah.
They couldn't see it in your face?
They was listening.
I mean, I got picked up a few times, but
Nah, they were listening to it.
yeah.
So they didn't watch the YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
One of them niggas in the Stone Age. Nah.
So for the listeners, Coley is my father.
I be that baby's pappy.
So today we have a special guest, one of our most requested, and guys, we just been getting started, right? But the few people that have listened, I've had at least 2 people say, listen, there's this guy, entrepreneur, awesome story, and you got to have him on. You may know him. If you don't know him personally, you know the brand. If you live in Delaware, Philly, maybe Jersey, because I'm sure
No.
it's all over.
That brand is national. I'm sure probably international.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming. It's definitely coming.
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't mean to discredit it.
No.
I ain't mean to discredit anything, but if you live in this area for sure, you've heard of Carry My Own Weight.
Absolutely.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, you're getting ready to meet the founder, the person, Gash.
Yeah, that's me.
Welcome.
How y'all doing, man?
Good, man. Glad to have you here.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate y'all having me here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with this interview, man, I imagine it being you kind of just walking us through your life and from your earliest memories and your upbringing, you
Mhm.
know, and then, you know, we'll definitely, for our entrepreneurial listeners and all that, we'll definitely jump into some of the, you know, those endeavors. But just tell the people, who are you?
My name is Thomas Jackson. I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, the Southbridge area. 34 years old. I was raised in Southbridge my whole life. Only time I ever left there was when I was incarcerated. That was the only time I ever left. I got generations over there, like my mom, my dad. My mom, my aunts, like everybody pretty much grew up over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been over there for a long time. I got different businesses over there now. I have a bar that I named after my dad called Big Tom's. I got a clothing line called Carry My Own Weight that I started in. I got released in 2013. I probably started Carry My Own Weight in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was just something that I started for me, my friends. It wasn't necessarily for sale. It started when I was locked up. Just like me, just on the pod, just bidding with the guys. Like, you know, I always used to say, man, I carry my own weight. Like, just dialoguing that to them.
Right.
And then when I got out, I was just talking to my guys, like, yeah, man, I'm going to carry my weight put on a shirt. And I said it, and I just kept it in my arsenal, my dialogue. And then just the way I moved, the way I operate, like, people know, like, you know, I was standing by that. And one of my guys hit me one day. He was like, yo, bro, what is that? You said you was going to get put on a shirt. And I'm like, you talking about carry my weight? He like, yeah. He like, I'm ready to go visit my boy. I'm going to get it put on a shirt. So when he got it put on a shirt, he got carry your own weight and not carry my own weight. But it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I ended up going to a guy that did printed T-shirts, and I was just like, yo, I told him the vision, like, you know, I wanted to get a crown, something that says carry my own weight in it, and that was like my original beginning crown.
Right.
And we got that done, and it was really just for my friends. But at this time, you know, I was doing a lot of travel, and I used to go to like different bike ride outs, Miami. They got a MLK ride out, bikes up, guns down. I used to go there. I used to go to Atlanta ride outs. It's different ride outs, and I'm going places, and I got the brand on.
Mm.
And people were just like, yo, man, I like that. Like, you know, different sides of town where I'm going at, people was like, yo, you got that for sale? And I didn't even think nothing of it, like,
Right.
at all. Like, I didn't think anything of it. Like, and then just a lot of the everywhere I was going, people was just like, yo, you got something. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to be selling no shirts or nothing like that. Like, I used to literally send people up there to go, like, people would ask me for a shirt. Like, yo, go up there and just get one made. Like, go to the dude and just get one made. I didn't see the vision.
Right.
And then just like one day, one of my I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit, but I was selling the T-shirts. So when people was telling me that I had something, I started selling the T-shirts in my neighborhood. So to me, it kind of like gave me like a rush a little bit because I can pull up on my neighborhood, my street that I grew up on, and it'd be like this person pulling up in the car, he want 4 shirts. This person pulling up in the car, he want 2 shirts, and I'm just knocking the shirts off, boom, boom, boom. Like I might sell the shirts $25, $30 a shirts, but he might come up and want 5 shirts. I'm like, all right, you can get these 5 shirts, give me $100.
Yeah.
And I was just moving them so quick. I'm like, well, damn, maybe I do got something here. And I just I would push and then I would stop.
Yeah.
Push and then stop. Like I wasn't really consistent because I just didn't see it.
Right.
And then I started listening to people, and I just really like got on it, but then I still fell off of it a little bit. And in 2017, my little brother got shot. He got paralyzed. So it kind of put me in like a bad space. And one of my friends, he was like, I didn't know nothing about the LLC. I didn't know anything about none of that. He was like, yo, man, he called me. He was like, yo, get your ID, get any paperwork you got for carrying my weight together. And he took me to the city county building and showed me how to get an LLC, did all that. I didn't know nothing about what it was. He like, go open you a business bank account. I had like decent credit already. So I went and opened up a business bank account, just like $25 business bank account. When I go to the bank, they're like, hey, you've been approved for a $10,000 credit card. So I'm like, man, I don't want no credit card. I'm thinking like, what you trying to get me?
Yeah.
So it was like a older black lady. She was just like, nah, like you'd rather use their money than yours. So I'm like, matter of fact, you got a point.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like the way you think. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll take it. She's like, it ain't gonna hurt your credit. I'm like, I'll take it. And that was like the beginning of me like starting carrying my own weight. So at that time I was flying to LA. So I would say maybe take like 10,000-15,000. I would fly to LA and I would buy clothes. I would go to like the fashion ticket. I would buy clothes, get them like embroidered or printed in LA and get them shipped back to Delaware. So like with that, you only can kind of like go but so far, because it's like if I'm taking 10-15 grand over there, I might make 30-40 grand off of that 10-15, but then I got to go back to LA, so I got to spend for a flight. I got to spend $500-600 for a flight there, a flight back. Got to get a hotel room. I got to do like all this stuff, and I had my
shipping, all that.
Yeah, and I had my homegirl that used to live in LA. I used to pay her $1,000 a month to shop for me. So just like with all that, I'm just like, man, like I got to kind of like switch it up a little bit. I got to kind of like get to the source.
Yeah.
So I was still doing that for a little bit, and at this time I had got an extra room in my apartment. So the extra room in my apartment, I just had racks in there with like different clothes, different stuff in there. So I was talking to my homegirl, and she was telling me like, hey, you should go to LA and do like a photo shoot. So mind you, I probably at this time, for me selling the T-shirts and selling a little bit of clothes, I probably saved up like maybe like 20,000 just off clothes.
How did that feel? Considering that you just, I ain't gonna say you started on a humble, but it's like something that you didn't really, you know what I mean?
It felt good to know that I can kind of like do something different. You know, it felt good. I was like, dang, like, but being still that, I ended up going to LA to do a photo shoot and spent the whole 20,000. Like everything, like everything. Like I probably spent the whole 20,000, probably came back with like 200 sweatsuits.
What did that do for your brand though?
It was good. It was good for the experience. It was good to go to LA to see how the people work, to see like, it's people there that just moved there and they just so willing to work. Everybody was smiling, everybody was happy. It was good. I didn't understand it at the time though, what I was doing. Like I just like, the people that was advising me was telling me like, this is something that, my brand should be doing. So when I get there and I'm doing a photo shoot, mind you, I'm doing a photo shoot and I don't have none of the clothes that I'm shooting. Like I don't even have none of them to be able to sell.
Right.
So it's like, it was good. Like, and then at this time, I flew my cameraman over there. I flew my other boy over there. So like all expenses on me. So it just like, it was a good experience, but I came back now. I'm like, damn, I need to get that 20 back. Nigga came back with that type of mindset. And so when I got back, now I got the racks and different stuff like that in the crib. So I'm no longer like selling people the shirts. Like now it's people like putting an order in for me. Like you might be like, hey, bro, I have friends. They might be like, yo, bro, give me a medium in every sweatshirt you got, or everything, anything you got, just a medium, give it all to me. So now I'm dropping off. I might drop a package off of clothes to you, and it might be $1,500. I might drop a package off to clothes to him, it might be $800. So the money was there, but I didn't really have like because now if I run out of those clothes, I got to get back to LA, or get my homegirl to ship me some. So it's just a process.
Right.
So I'm like, man, like, you know, I gotta figure it out. And at this time, the store came available over South Bridge, so which was an old barbershop. And the old barbershop, it came available, and I'm thinking like, yeah, I think that'd be a good spot to open a store up at. So I consulted with a couple of my friends. They like, bro, why you want to open up a store in the hood? I'm like, who else gonna support me better than the hood?
Right.
I feel like there ain't no other better place to open it but here.
Right.
So I opened that up, you know, did all that, got it renovated, opened that up, and that just did beautiful because it gave people a they can pull up. Now they ain't got to call me and chase me down and all that. Even though I think I should have kind of kept it a little like just to keep the exclusiveness to it. You know, so just me opening up the door right there, it was good. But now I'm like, yo, I gotta figure this out on the material end. So, you know, I always tell people all the time, like, I be so thankful for the people that supported Carry My Weight from the beginning because they've been so patient with me. Like, wow, I figured it out. You know, when I know that, you know, here where we at, like, people would tear you down and people would just, like, you know, I respect all the people that told me to my face, like, yo, bro, I love that, but I might not be feeling the material. Or, like, you know, females that come in and be like, hey, could you change this? I always listen. I don't never disregard that. Like, I listen. Like, if, you know, if somebody comes in and say this ain't right, I try to fix it the best way I can because I appreciate you spending your money with me.
Yeah.
I don't take that for granted. So I end up going to China in 2019. I ended up going to China for a week. And that was just like a beautiful experience because I got a chance to talk to the manufacturers, to meet them, for them to feel my energy.
Right.
You know, I just got a chance to go over there and just see how everything operated. Like, it was just beautiful.
Man, you moving like Frank Lucas, man.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it was a real good experience because it just opened my eyes up, bro. It's like over there, like they trying to make you a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like that's their goal. Like they looking at you as, and they not used to seeing like black people.
Yeah.
Like at all. So if they see you over there, they trying to take pictures of you. They just think like, wow, like, you know, like they think you an athlete, or they know you got some money. Well, they think you got some money anyway.
Yeah.
It's like we don't see, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did that, and that worked out really good for me.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So, have you always been like entrepreneurial and this like enterprising person? Like, or growing up, did you see somebody who kind of like steered you towards wanting to get money?
Yeah, well, you know, growing up, all I seen was like hustlers. Like, you know what I mean? Like in the neighborhood, you see like a lot of people getting money. So like me, I always watched and paid attention. So I took from like the good stuff, what I like, the characteristics that I like I'm like, yeah, I like that about him. And it had some stuff that I maybe didn't like, that I didn't take.
Right.
But I always watched and paid attention. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I got like a real good core of friends. Like we've been friends with each other for like 20, 30-something years now.
Right.
You know, probably 25 years. And we always really like held each other accountable. Like far as like if you do something wrong, or if I do something wrong, we pull you up. Like ain't nothing that I can say behind his back that I wouldn't say in his face.
Right.
So like that, I feel like that right there with us, like nobody had to tell us like, yo, you get in trouble, you know, you're not supposed to say nothing, or it's like we already knew that, like amongst each other, like, you know what I mean, and just watching the older guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice. That friendship is key.
Yeah.
I mean, friendship is key. Like, I like that because, you know, now, I ain't gonna say nowadays, but just in general, sometimes people just won't hold people accountable. You know what I mean? And this is somebody that you meet people that you love or whatever like that. And if you love them, you know what I mean, you should definitely hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
And just be straight up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was life like for you growing up, man? Tell us about your relationship with your mother and your father. And
so I had a beautiful relationship with my dad, you know, before he passed. My mom, you know, she raised me in Southbridge. Her and my dad was together probably for maybe till I was like maybe like I'm thinking like maybe like 5 or 6. And then they separated, so I end up staying with my mom over south. And you know, my mom a rider. You know, she hold it down. You know, like what she could. And we had like our ups and downs, like, you know, like especially like when I jumped in like to the streets, like, you know, it's just like you seeing your mom, like, you know, my mom struggled with like drug addiction. So it's like, you know, seeing your mom like, you know, go through that kind of like put me in a space where like, man, it's no point in me asking my mom for nothing because I know she ain't got it, or I can't get it from her, so I gotta kind of like, you know. And then like with my dad, like, you know, he got with my stepmom and like, you know, her kids, so, you know, he stays there. He over there, so, you know, it just got to the point where, like, you know, with my pop, like, I'm not going to keep calling and asking for this and all that. I got to kind of, like, get it on my own.
Right.
That's how I thought anyway. Like, my dad always made sure I was good, but it's like, you get to a certain point where you just like, man, I ain't going to keep calling and asking.
Yeah.
I got to get it. I got to get it the way I can get it. But, overall, that I would say like I had like a good upbringing. You know what I mean? You know, I was never like, you know, a disrespectful kid. I wasn't like a bad kid. You know, in the beginning, you know what I mean? I always was smart. You know,
Right.
I went to school. You know, I can't really like, you know, I always listen. I wasn't like, I don't believe I was a bad kid.
Yeah. Right. Well, so with your, in regards to your dad, you know what I mean? I know he wasn't in a house. Y'all wasn't in the same household or whatever like that. But like, do you remember like a time or a conversation or a situation that happened that really let you like kind of understand with your dad's perspective and where he was at and like how he was trying to guide you as a young man?
You know, honestly, man, like, you know, I tell people this all the time, like with I think like with young black men, like, so like say like my dad, like it's different. Like, you know, in those type of households, I think that with more of, I think like we gotta like tell our kids that we proud of them more. We gotta tell our kids that we love them more, because like, you know, the way like we come up, it's like when you telling your dad like, yo, dad, I love you, or you telling your mom, it's like, what you did, what's wrong, what you do,
Yeah.
like why you talking like that, you know what I mean, or something like that. I think that I think my dad like come up old school, so he's more like he trying to show you, you know what I mean, you need to know like he hard, like, you know, he gonna be hard on you, you know, like just because he kind of showing you, you know, they don't come from that era where they express their feelings.
Yeah.
They more like show you, like, you know what I mean, or tell you, like, you know, you ain't supposed to be doing that, or you know what I mean. It didn't come up onto that like real emotion or nothing like that. It's like, you know, my dad was more like a joker, like, you know, he plays a lot. You feel me, like, you know what I mean, like, but he's a very like lovable guy.
Yeah.
So he just more gonna show you, like, you know, you ain't supposed to be doing that, or like, you know. Like that, I looked up to my dad like a lot.
Yeah,
I worship the ground he walk on.
When was you mature enough to be able to process the fact that even though he didn't express it emotionally or verbally that he loved you, when was you able to process the fact that by him showing you, because that was his love language, right?
Yeah.
By him showing you how to do this or telling you what to do and what not to do. When were you mature enough to process that? It's like, oh, he doing this because he loved me.
Well, to be honest with you, like, when he passed away, a lot of his friends and the people that was around him came to me and was telling me, like, stuff that he said about me that he never said to me, but he said to them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, damn, like, you know, when he got sick, he just like, you know, I know he's like, I know he's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's going to be good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just more focused on my little brother, you know what I mean? Because my little brother a little hard-headed.
Yeah.
So he just like, I know he's going to be good. Or like, you know, he'd talk about some of my accomplishments to other people. And they'd come to me like, hey, your dad, he'd be saying this about you. He never said it to me.
Yeah.
But he said it to them. And that right there, like, after you passed, it was like, damn. Like, I'm like, damn, I didn't know he felt like that. He never told me.
Yeah.
So it was like that. Like, just telling them how proud he was of me. Like, you know, just my accomplishments, just everything that I got going on was like, that was when kind of like after he passed was when I heard it.
Right.
Like when we was in it, it wasn't like, you know, just like, he'd do little stuff, like, you know, like little different stuff, like if how can I say it? Like if a house or something like that, like he was the one that got me my first property, like, but more of like he found it, hey, my son can get that, my son can buy that property, like that, like, you know, and I felt good to be able to go to my dad, like, yeah, dad, we gonna get that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, don't worry.
That's what's up, man. It sounded like he, you know what I mean, was proud of you.
Yeah, he was proud of me, but he just showed it
differently.
Yeah.
And isn't it weird how that works, man?
Yeah.
It's weird how it works.
It's weird, but like you say, coming from, you know what I mean, coming from the era, because I think about my pop. My pop, 85 years old, and I'm gonna go see him after this. And I was probably like 30 years old before I heard my pop tell me that he loved me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My pop grew up old school, son of a sharecropper, all that stuff like that. And it's just, you know what I mean, as you grow, you know what I mean, emotional intelligence ain't that intelligent. I ain't gonna say it's not there, but it wasn't seen as being manly. You know what I mean? Love and hugging and kissing on kids. But as we grow and grow as human beings and grow as fathers and stuff, we realize that, like, you know, if my daughter need this or whatever, like, and they different, but my son need a hug too. Yeah. My son need to know that I love him. My son need to know that I'm proud of him and all that stuff like that too. So
I think we got to voice that more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because everybody, you know, sees situations differently, man. Our perspectives is so different. You could grow up in the same house with somebody and experience the same type of experiences, but I might see it differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, question for you: how did your relationship change with your dad once you, if at all, changed with your pop once you started to like kind of get in the streets?
It really didn't. It kind of like I think like he more embraced it because it was like more like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Like, you know, I got to that age like where it's like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So he would kind of like try to steer me without steering me the right way. Like, you know, telling me certain stuff like, you know, just like what I'm doing. Cause I would, like, you know, you ain't gonna ask your dad like directly certain stuff. Like, say it might be like a car, like I'm ready to buy a car, but I know I don't got a license, I'm not old enough to drive. Right. But I'm asking him about some car stuff, and it's just like he trying to like, well, like say I might be like, well, if I was to get a car and I was trying to get it, or somebody was to get a car and they were trying to get it tagged up, how would they go about that? So it's like he know that I'm the one that's trying to get the car, so he's trying to, or hey, the car need this part. Where would you be able to get that? Or do you know anybody that can fix that? But he know it's for me. Yeah. But he going to tell me because it's like he don't want me to get beat or want me to go spend the money with somebody. So it's like more of like, well, he going to do it anyway. Yeah. So I kind of got to make sure he do it right. Yeah. So it just I think like that's how that went, you know. It wasn't really like a communication thing. Like I wasn't it was like more of like you don't talk to your dad about being in the streets, but he hears stuff. Yeah. And then when he come to you, like I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't do that, or I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, nah. Yeah.
So, you mentioned that you were incarcerated for a little bit at a point. How old were you when you got locked up?
21.
21. Mm-hmm. You was 21 when you.
I was 21. Yeah. That's not a good time. Ain't never a good time to be in jail, but goddamn it, 21.
21. Yeah.
How long did you end up serving?
4 years.
4. Mm-hmm. How did your relationship change with your dad, if at all, while you were going through that period? Because I imagine that was hard on you, and you might have needed a little more support.
Yeah. So one thing about like my dad, like, you know, when I was in there, like my dad he ain't gonna send me no money. He ain't gonna do nothing like that. He gonna keep money on the phone though. He gonna answer, no matter if I'm going down that list. I know he gonna answer for sure. He answering, like, you know what I mean. So that he came to see me like once when I was in there. But for me, when I was in there, it was just like a fear because my dad always had like health issues, like, you know. So I was like kind of like worried a little bit, like, dang, like, you know, that was like a fear of my dad passing away while I was in there. And when I was in there, he ended up having open heart surgery. So when he had the open heart surgery, like I said, my dad would always answer the phone. So I'm calling home, maybe for like a month, and it ain't nothing, no answering, and it was odd. You know, I'm talking to my girl at the time, and she had a good relationship with my dad. And I'm like, hey, you talk to my dad? She's like, oh no, I haven't seen him, or I didn't talk to him. I'm like, I'm just not thinking nothing. I'm like, oh no, like I haven't got with him. Yeah. And then I called one day, maybe like, and I'm like, she's like, man, I can't even hold it from you no more. He had open heart surgery, and he told everybody not to tell you. Because he's like, he don't want his son stressing while you in there. Right. You know, and it kind of like, it just knocked me down because I'm just like, dang, Dad, you got to let me know what's going on. Yeah. You can't do nothing like that and not tell me. Right. So now what if things would have went bad? You know, and I called him and he finally answered and he in the hospital, but he don't tell me nothing that's going on. Yeah. Like, I got to tell him, like, yo, man, you was going through all that. You didn't say nothing to me. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm like that, I didn't like that.
He's trying to protect you.
Yeah, he's trying to protect me, but it's like, you got to let me know what's going on. You got me here blind. So now what if things would have went sour?
Right.
And it would have just been like,
Out of blue.
I guess he just probably didn't want me wearing. Went in there, you know, older people, they don't like to tell you about their health issues, or they don't like to go to the hospital.
You don't got no health issues
No,
because you could fall under the
don't.
older category now.
Whoa, my man.
Yeah, but that was about it. Like he seen me mature
Yeah,
in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
From a little dude.
yeah. And so you said that your father, I know you got the bar that you named after your father. You said your father passed away.
Yep, 2020.
Yeah,
Passed away in 2020 from lung cancer.
yeah. And I was thinking, when you brought it up off camera, we was talking about it. You know what I mean? You hit on a point that you know what I mean, that touched me. You know what I mean? About grief and dealing with that when you're losing somebody significant. I lost my mother in 2014, and I don't think that, you know what I mean, anybody really realize, you know, they pass away, you go through that process, and then afterwards, I don't think anybody realized that I was going through an extended period of grief with my mom. You know what I mean? And you mentioned it, and I was like, God damn, he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of years where I was just like floating.
Just
floating, you know what I mean? Because this person is so huge in my life, and she's gone. You know what I mean? I was just floating and stuff like that. So how was that experience for you?
So that experience was, because, you know, I got two younger sisters, 15 and 16, and I got a younger brother. He's 30. So he was incarcerated when my dad passed. So, you know, just having to call home and be like, you know, I guess like somebody in the jail telling him to call home, and he calls home and he's like, you know, Dad's good. He's like, yo, what's going on with Dad? Everything's all right? And I still would play that conversation in my head when I had to tell him that my dad died. Like, it's just like I still remember that conversation vividly. So that was like a big thing then, you know, just having to be strong for my sisters, and my brother, having to take on, like, you know, my dad didn't have no insurance, so, you know, I had to pay like 19,000 to bury my dad. You know, so you dealing with that, where you looking at it like, you know, you looking at just people around, like, dang, like, you know, like, I watch my dad help so many people, and then in this situation, like, nobody, like, we worried about like material things, or we worried about like stuff that really don't matter, and I'm sitting here like, well, I just lost my dad, and I got to process like all that. And even if somebody would have probably tried to offer, I probably would have declined, but it still was the fact of the offer.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody, like, it just was a lot, and you carrying all that weight, and you got to kind of be strong for everybody. So I didn't really get a chance to sit down and because it's like, you know, bills, life, everything is still rolling.
Yeah.
So after that, I felt like I was just like floating, and I knew like something was like, I knew I just didn't feel like myself. And, you know, I got businesses to run, I got different things going on, and I felt like I wasn't giving it my max effort. Yeah. It was like more of like, you get up in the morning and it's like, you're like, damn, like, I gotta get up, but it's like a part of you want to just lay down. You don't even really want to get up, you know, because I got to get up, and I gotta, you know, I gotta put this smile on, and I gotta go out here, and something that usually was so effortlessly and genuine is like not genuine no more. It's like, damn, like, you like, and I felt like that happened for like a couple years, like, you know, like, where I just didn't have no motivation. Yeah.
How did you eventually end up coming out of that?
So I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing it now. I just, like, you know, I think like one of the big things is, like, you know, like, just like praying, you know what I mean? Like, just like, you know, just asking God for guidance, and, you know what I mean, just to focus me up, and, you know what I mean, and, you know, some maybe my thoughts, or maybe some of the way I looked at people, I'm just like, God, you know, this is not me. Like, lift this up off me. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean, I don't want to, like, you know what I mean, lift this up off me. Give me the vision so I can see clearer. Yeah. And just kind of like, you know, my kids, you know, just the people around me, like, you know, just keeping me. I'm like, man, you gotta shake back, and I feel like I'm doing that, like, now, like, you know what I mean, like, I'm doing that now.
Yeah. Grief is tough, man. Yeah. And we all go through it, right? But like the extended grief thing, it's super hard. You know, I lost somebody close to me in 2020. My grandmother passed, and trying to get through, like, and she helped raise me.
Yeah.
Like, she was hands on the whole time until she got dementia and then she couldn't help, whatever. But getting through that piece was tough, right? And then you think you're through it, and her sister passed earlier middle of November or whatever. So I'm going to support the family and my family, whatever. And you know, funerals are weird to me anyway, but they showed a video. It's not uncommon to see a video of you know, the loved one who passed.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to go down to see the casket, and I'm looking at the video. I'm already feeling some type of way because my aunt is gone, and I'm seeing all these young pictures of my grandma, and she's smiling and happy. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And put me right back in it, you know, and it take a couple of days to get back from it or whatever. But grief, those who are listening, grief is hard. You know what I mean? Find ways, like Gash, you named a bunch of ways to kind of get through it. I think community helps.
Yeah.
You know, friends, having people's ear, I mean, being able to bend people's ears and just kind of talk and vent. Therapy is a big one, you know. Like you said, that. So when you praying,
you know what I mean, your religion, your faith, whatever that is, you know what I mean, pouring into that.
And another thing I think is important too, like, you know, people might look at us and think that we got it all figured out, or think that like we don't hurt too. Like it's real important. Like I say this all the time, to check on your strong people. Like just to check in, yo man, how you doing, man? Like what's going on? Like, you know, like how's your mental? Like, you know, it's real important for that. I think like we don't do that enough. Like just to check, yo man, what's up? Like what's going on? Like I ain't asking you for nothing. I don't want nothing from you.
Right.
I just want to know how you are.
Right.
That's deep, because I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about when you said, you know what I mean, about burying your father. Like I've been in there multiple situations, siblings, my mother, and everybody. And you go in that room and you sit down with these funeral directors, undertakers, and my mother had insurance, but she was underinsured. She didn't have enough. So when they realize, you know what I mean? So this is where the insurance stops, and then and then everything after that, you know what I mean, got to be paid out of pocket. It's my mother, you know what I mean? I ain't saying it like it was a thing, but everybody got quiet and they just look at me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I was saying, I remember just with my mom, and I'm the youngest child, and you know, man, I got all these memories and this real rich relationship with my mother, and I got to go through this whole process, and everybody's just like, you know what I mean, everybody's just looking at me, do this, get this done, this and that. And mind you, I served 14 years in prison. I went in when I was 21. I came home when I was 35. In 2008, my mom died 6 years later. So I'm just putting my life back together.
Yeah. You still adjusting.
Man, I'm putting my life back together. I came out here 35 years old with nothing, and I'm putting my life back together in 6-7 years. And I'm grateful for that. You know what I mean? The time spending with my mom and everything. I'm putting my life back together. And then on top of losing my mom, I got to take care of everything.
Yeah, man, it is those little moments, and we'll never know what sticks out to them until 30, 40 years down the line. You know, we older, and they be like, man, remember that one time you took me to GameStop? You know what I mean? It'll be something super specific. You'll be like, you know, it's just another day to you, but to them it's their childhood. So
yeah. Let me say that. I know you were getting into something, but you hit on something for me, Gash. Do you even understand that? I know you're a father too, but this is something that a reoccurring theme. That, like, I went to prison. I was out of his life. I went to prison. He was 2. I came home. He was 16. So you know what I mean. We, you know, go through all those phases of rebuilding our relationship. Now we 15 years later. I couldn't imagine not being in my son's life.
Yeah.
And we see people. You know what I mean. See people around or whatever like that. Can you fathom why somebody would not intentionally not be in their child's life? I don't get that shit.
Nah, I don't see why nobody wouldn't want to be in their kids' life, especially like when they. It's beautiful to watch them do certain things that you do, like, and you see that in them. Like I don't got no respect for jokers like that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not in your kids, like I don't see why you wouldn't want to. Like,
right.
You know, like why you wouldn't want to be in your kids' life. I think that's just real important.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's vital.
Yeah.
Like, we have to do that. Like, we got to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No matter what our circular, because like we were saying, like it ain't all necessarily got to be financial.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It just got to be like showing up. Like, you know, you got to be there. It ain't got to be, you ain't got to buy them this or you ain't got to buy them that. Like, you know, just that time. Like another beautiful thing that I'm gonna say, like, why it's important is like certain stuff, like I don't got to tell my son. He knows because he watched me.
Right.
So I don't even got like, it's like he done had conversations with other people and they be like, yeah, like he just, and they pay attention to everything. So with you not being there or you not, they see that. They feel that. Yeah. So it's like certain things like where he might be listening to me and you talk. Me and you might be talking. He might be listening to certain stuff, and somebody might ask him something. You know, nah, I ain't know what you talking about. Yeah. Like he it just picks up on everything. Yeah. So yeah, I don't understand why nobody wouldn't want to be, you know, in their sons and especially our baby girls. Right. Yeah. Like them princesses. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta wrap them up. Absolutely. Gotta wrap them up. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know, you know, we wrapping up. I know you got to go open the store. Any parting words for us, man? Anything you want to leave the listeners with?
Anything I want to leave the listeners with? Just anybody that's, you know, just coming in on an entrepreneurial journey. A big piece of advice that I want to give is, man, just stay consistent. Stay on it, man. No matter if you're in a situation right now where you don't see the answer or you might don't see the light, keep going. Because it ain't gonna rain forever. Eventually, you know what I mean, it's gonna turn over. Like, you know. But in this industry, and I've seen a lot of people come and go. You know what I mean? Only a few stayed. Yeah. But the people that stayed, they made it count.
That's what's up. Right. That's what's up. Yeah. So listen, I want to thank you. Thank you for coming on here, you know what I mean, and sharing your experiences with us, man. Thank you. You looking at? Why you keep looking at me like that? You looking at me like I know that this my son, y'all. In case y'all, this my son. So like Gash was saying, you ain't gotta say certain shit. Yeah. He ain't gotta say shit. I'm looking at him. I know why you keep looking at me. Go ahead.
I ain't got nothing to say.
Go ahead. Nah, stop the bullshit. Go ahead. I know it. He got something he want to say.
Okay. I don't have nothing to say. He having a moment, y'all. I'm about to call. Get you in the the old folks center.
Oh my god. Nah.
But I ain't have nothing to say.
But I appreciate you, man, sharing everything with us, sharing everything about your business, and that sounds like a whole nother podcast right there, talking about the business aspect. You know what I mean? But everything that you shared, man, with us, man. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Like I told my son, I told, you know what I mean, other people, man, I'm a fan of what it is that you doing, just watching from the outside and seeing how you go about handling your business, man. I could appreciate that, particularly coming from a younger brother, particularly coming from this city where we come from. I love my town. I love my city. It's a small city, and it's rough. So on all aspects, you know what I mean? So I really can appreciate and seeing what it is that you're doing out here, man. So thank you so much, man, for coming and spending this time with us, bro.
I appreciate y'all having me here, man.
Thank you.
I needed this. It's made my day.
Thanks, man.
So with that, my name is Coley Harris.
I'm Amar Melton.
And thank you for watching, listening to Missing Dad.